live martial arts class. We're talking about, this is a fast workout, right? So fast cane self-defense lesson. I want to talk strategically about defending yourself, street fight self-defense, when it's too close to do these power strikes. So when you can, you create distance. You have the distance between you and the threat. You're striking as hard and as fast as you can through this longer range, keeping them off you. So if they have a gun, a knife, they have something in their hand, another stick, you can create this distance easily with this force multiplier. And when I say force multiplier, I mean this thing is longer than your arm. This thing is harder than your skin. This thing, you can hit someone's hand, someone's knife, they're carrying something, a club. You have this in your hand, you have a self-defense tool that gives you power, leverage, and so it's extremely devastating when you start to strike in self-defense. But what happens when they get too close? This is also extremely effective for self-defense with close quarters combat. So that means they surprise you and all of a sudden they're in close. There's so many things that you can now do with this weapon at this close range. And that's what we're talking about in this fast martial arts lesson, this fast self-defense lesson using your walking cane. Put your weight on your cane, you take a few steps and you get in your better position. This is part of the strategy of self-defense. Self-defense is a series of principles and not techniques. Martial arts is organized techniques, right? There's strategy in there too when you get to self-defense and fighting, but it's all about techniques. Taekwondo has a lot of kicks. Karate has kicks and punches. Taekwondo has some punches too. Jiu-jitsu, grappling, wrestling, grappling, judo, grappling, kali, salat, eskrima, knives, sticks, some hubad, lubad, some up close, elbows, knees, Muay Thai. Those are all techniques. And yes, there is strategy when it comes to their sport or their self-defense. When we talk about self-defense, especially with one of the best martial arts weapons for street fight self-defense that you can carry, which is the simple walking cane. And this cost me $9 with free shipping from Amazon, $9. And I have some of the martial arts canes that cost $35, $70, $100. And this is just as good, in my opinion. And I've waited to say that. I put the link down below where you can get one on Amazon. I waited to say it until I spent some time training with it. But I can show you, this thing is so durable, it's flexible, it's made to take my heavier weight, but it's also extremely hard and it's made to last a long, long time. And you can get this at CVS, Walgreens, pharmacies near you, department stores, depending on where you live, but it's just simply a walking tool. You can take this into an airport. You can take this onto the plane. You can take this onto the bus. You can take this onto the train. You can have it in the park. You can, anywhere you go, city building, police department, this is allowed. All my other weapons are limited in so many places. Hello, I can't take my nunchucks almost anywhere, right? If I walk down the street swinging my nunchucks or practicing with my sword or even just carrying a sword, some police officer is going to pull me over thinking, one, I'm nuts. Two, what are you doing? What's your intent? Why are you carrying a weapon? Because it's a weapon. This, you take with you wherever you go. So let's go back to where we started. We're talking about two ranges. We're talking about this longer range, and the principles of self-defense dictate, number one, pay attention to what's happening around you so that you can be prepared and you don't have to just react. You can respond. Big difference between reaction and responding. Reaction leads to fear, leads to balling up and they start kicking you on the ground. Respond means better position. Hands up and open. This hand's holding this cane. Put the cane between me and you. That's the second one. Create distance. Look at how much distance that is. The tip came flying off a minute ago when I was smacking it really hard. That's gonna happen when you train. But the cane itself, super, super strong. Right after this, if I have time, right after this, we're talking about combat bow staff. And we're gonna talk about putting some combinations, some striking, some blocking together. But right now, let's focus on the cane. So you have this cane, because the question was, you asked me, what happens if they get through this longer range? And that's very likely, it's very possible. If they're out here, they've got a knife, this is great. If I can stop them out here when they have something like a knife that can go in me over and over again and cause death for sure, if not massive surgery and a long, long recovery time, I want to hit them out here with all of these strikes, all the things I can do to the face, to the body, to the legs. And that's where we talk about number 3. The third thing, self-defense. Number 1, situation awareness, what's happening. You walk out your door, you look around. You get out of your car, you look around. You're waiting for the bus. You pay attention. You don't get stuck like this. And then not see the guy and his 2 buddies coming up, getting ready to take that from you. But first they're gonna bash your head in, right? You put that in your pocket while you're sitting in public. You wait to get to a safe place, put your back against the wall, hold your phone up like this, check your messages, put it back in your pocket. But if you sit wherever you go and you see it, right? You know what I'm talking about. Some of you do it. Sometimes I've done it. I see people doing it all the time. You don't know what's happening. There's no situational awareness because your awareness is 100% in its design. Phones, all the technology, all the apps, they study what makes your brain get in there. And it's happening right now because the world's a little crazier. Everybody's a little bit more nervous. People are more desperate, 20, 30, 40% unemployment. Some places in the world, no one's working. Everybody's stuck inside. Everybody's anxious. The criminals are going nuts. And they see you at the bus stop, on the train, you're just a target. So number 1, pay attention. Number 2, get in a better position when you have to. When you know the threat's coming at you, put this in their line of sight. Make them have to work around that, right? That's even better. You put your hands up. Hey man, back up. Don't come any closer. I have every right to defend myself. And number 3, you ask yourself a question. Breathe first. The breathing calms you down. Because when you fight, you got to speed up. You can't slow down when you fight, but you have to calm down because you need this question. Number 3, breathe. What are my targets, right? And at this long range, let's say this is the guy, right? Or this is one of the guys. Maybe there are 3 or 4 others. But this is the guy, and what are my targets? His eyes. The targets are what can you destroy, smash, remove, eviscerate, whatever the words are. Flip out of his face, right? What are your targets? Take away his eyesight. Take away his ability to breathe clearly through his nose. Take his teeth out of his mouth. Take away his ability to live because he can't breathe. It's for self-defense. It's you or him. It's your kids, maybe. Someone you care about, you love. And a bunch of thugs who don't care about anything. It's you or them. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about dire case, ultimate case, life or death, self-defense, street fight scenario. Or street fight, self-defense, however you want to look at it. But that's the question is, what are my targets, right? And this is at this longer range. His face, his eyes, right? Jabbing, smashing, breaking his skull. And that's what this will break a skull. This will kill somebody. There's no question in my mind. This hits with so much force. $9, Amazon. Put the link below. Anyway, and I'm not advertising for it, but you ask me all the time, where can I get that? I could say go to the martial arts store and spend $100 and get the fancy one with the little thing here, and it looks like a little raptor. I don't even know what it is. And it's all twisted and it'll last a million years. Not me. I'm just not like that. You can if you want. You got money to burn, burn it. But for me, I like this. I like $9. $9 free shipping, right? Or 15 at the most, depending on the color you like. But it does the job extremely well. This is the longer range. Then the question you asked me was, what happens if they get through that longer range and now they're here, they're right in your face. Their hands are on your throat, they're on your body. 3 or 4 of them have a hold of your clothes and your hair, and they're smacking you, beating you with open hands or with rocks in the other hand. Then what do? Well, you still have this, right? This is still in your hand. We're talking about strategies, because when it's self-defense, it's not techniques. This is a technique. That's angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7. There's a rifle butt. There's the opposite side, right? This is hook him on the back of the head, pull him in while you drive your elbow through his face. This is smash his ankle, pull it out, kick him right in the face as he goes in. Those are all techniques. And you might use them because that's the target says. These are the techniques I'm going to use. But it's targets, right? So now you're closer. The question is, what are your targets? Same as before. Out here, my targets are here. My techniques to destroy those targets are pretty basic and simple. Here, might still be the same target. His eyes, his face, his nose. Bring your hands up in the same way. Same exact way. Turn this down. You only need this much. Yes, Bobby, it's good to see you. Keep going, Bobby. Get off your video game. Start training, man. Bring this down like this, right? Bring this down like this. We've got an inside joke, me and this guy. I'm Hank Hill, he's Bobby. So your hands up here. I'll help him out. You got to get off the video games, though. You bring it down. You just, even if they're on you, just pull it down. Hear that sound? Imagine that on their face, on their nose, on their eyes, smashing their teeth out of their face. Then it's just a shove. Why is it effective? Because this hard stick compresses the flesh and the nerves that are in the upper part of the chest. There are a lot in there. We used to do the pressure point stuff when I did the hapkido for a long, long time. Love the hapkido, love the pressure point stuff, the jitsu. And the pressure points, they're all over, right? They're all over the face. When I was a policeman in the military, I used that to come along, the C technique, more than once. It works exceptionally well. You apply it, and you roll everything up here, and you grab back here, the mandibular joint, and you squeeze as hard as you can, and you lift them straight up out of the car or out of the chair. You give them a verbal command, and you say, stand up, put your hands down, put your hands behind your back, put them on your, whatever, and it works. Same thing here, smash it, one, and then, look, you have this hook. Let me see if I can show you here without moving the camera around, because I know that makes you motion sick, right? I bring it down here. See the cane? The cane's hiding over here on the other side. That's like it's right here. Drive it through his ear. Drive it through his eyes. Smash his nose off his face. See if you can't get it to go pop through so it comes out. As you rip out, and you have to remember this, because we're talking about street fight self-defense. We're talking about pounds of pressure to remove the eye out of the head. It's called a fish hook. Just a few pounds of pressure, right? Just a few pounds of pressure to pull the ear off the head, to rip the nose straight off the face, to break the jaw, to open the skin. There's the fish hook, right there. It's the eyeball, I was thinking something else. Rip that skin, I've seen it, you know? The guy's eye comes out and they rip it from here back to here. That's what you do. We're talking close quarter combat. But we started with, what is the target? Because it's principles, it's not techniques. Once you know the principles, then you think, oh, I've got a big stick in my hand, it's got a hook on one side, it's very hard. From here, I'm very strong. From here, I'm very strong, right? Bring it back here. From here, you're very strong because it's close to your body. If you're out here, maybe you're not as strong. Maybe you don't have as much balance. But they got up close and personal. They're invading your personal space. Their hands are on your neck. See that? Hands are on, you bring it down here. Now your hands are on their pressure points. And their hands are on your neck, that's great. Their hands are on your clothes. Bring it down to here. Break their hands. Apply pressure on the nerves on the top of the arm. And then shove it straight into their neck. That's the answer to the question, what happens if we're super close? And I was going to show you with the chair, but I don't think we need to do that right away. We can do that on another one. All these techniques work in a chair too. Because, why? Anybody remember? Why does it work in a chair? Why would it work if you were on your back? Why would it work if they smacked you in the back of the head, you lost consciousness, you fell to the ground, and you rolled and you open your eyes, but you still had your stick in your hand. It was close enough to grab, and the guy's coming in to ground and pound and hit you with a big chunk of concrete. Why does it still work? Because it's not technique-based. Any technique will do, and the most basic work. Your question is, what are my targets? And then the last thing that you have to remember or think about is when you counter strike or you strike those targets, not really counter, because if you can hit them first, don't let them hit you 3 times or stab you 18 times before you respond. But if you can think about the targets, then finally it's commitment. That's why you practice. You practice commitment. At first slow and in the air, and then faster and faster and faster, all the different strikes, and then on a stack of tires, on a bag, on a pole, on a tree, whatever you've got. And if you don't have anything, keep it in the air. But go faster and faster. And make that connection between your brain and your body, that when you need to, in this position, and you make the verbal command, back up, and they don't, and they keep coming, that every strike, you're trying to finish that street fight self-defense. You're trying to defend yourself. You're trying to stay safe, so you get to go home, to your home, wherever it is. They get to go either to the morgue, or to the jail, or to the hospital. But you told them, you said back, you have every right to defend yourself as a human being in the world, no matter where you are, even if the government doesn't support it. You have the right to use your cane. And this is the best thing about it. Every witness, everyone watching, all the cameras that are everywhere now, see you in this universal position. That means stop. You're not trying to fight. You're not the aggressor. You're not attacking anybody. You're simply defending yourself. It looks like I'm defending. If I were like this, and I had my nunchucks, I'm swinging them, come on, man. Now I'm street fighting. Now I'm going to jail. From here, you're just The average person, you're either a citizen or you're a comrade or whatever, but you're just trying to defend yourself. You don't want to fight. You don't want to hurt somebody. You don't want to crack someone's skull with this thing, but you will if you have to for self-defense. So you go home safe. It's your right. It's your human right. When thugs go out for whatever motivation, and I'm not a psychologist and I never want to be, but whatever their motivation is, whatever their need is to hurt other people, take other people's stuff, and whether you feel sorry for them or not, or you have empathy or not, you can have all the empathy in the world, but also defend yourself. Jesus said, turn the other cheek, right? You can also turn the other cheek while your hands are up in a protected position, and you don't have to let them hit you. That's what self-defense is. Self-defense isn't beating people up. Self-defense is, I have every right to defend myself. You don't have to like me, but you can't talk to me like that. You can't hurt me, stab me, punch me, kick me, knock me to the ground, write things about me on social media. You can call me Hank Hill, though. I don't mind, Bobby. Let's keep this going. So we're striking. Now you're close. What are the different techniques? You have these techniques. You still have some strikes while you're close, right? This is like a big knuckle coming at your face. Stick that through his face. You have two hands. Put two hands on it. Anywhere in the body. Because you're asking yourself, you know the techniques, right? You're asking yourself, what are your targets? And the target's going to change depending on the situation. That's what makes it self-defense. Thanks so much for watching. Check the links below if you need them. If not, I'll see you on the next one.